Hey, this is Danae and welcome to the Weekly Read. Boom, that was it. Hey guys, it's Danae and thanks so much for coming back to watch another episode of the Weekly Read. As you see, I have another guest with me and I'm gonna let her introduce herself and just tell everybody why you're on the show. So,
hi, I'm Shannon. I'm from New Jersey and I'm here to talk about social media.
okay, and so why did you pick that topic?
Because I do a lot of different kinds of artwork, and for a while I was really focused on modeling and photography, and I feel like I was really affected, especially by social media communities, because I would always compare myself and my work and the people I work with and their status within that community to like, I don't know, I would like assign myself more or less worth depending on how I would compare. Yeah, and then like I didn't delete anything, you know, people make a big dramatic, like, I'm going off social media, I can't be on it anymore, you guys are like bullying me or whatever. I just stopped posting as much and stopped looking at it as much, and I would only post if I really feel like I have something worth sharing, not just because, oh, it's been 3 days or it's been a week, and I haven't. So, and that helped me a lot. I feel better. That new feature that tells you how long you've been on your phone per week.
The screen time.
I love it'll be like 37% reduced.
Oh my god, I love it.
20% reduced. I know, and I'm like, because I haven't been staring at Instagram, that's not productive. I could be making my own work instead of staring at other people's. Yeah. It's good for inspiration. Like, I stopped following a lot of people that, like, it's not their fault for being good, obviously. Just like, I felt bad looking at them, so I was like, okay, why don't I just go away and prove myself and then come back and be like, well, I feel good too. Yeah. Your work is great, my work is great.
Right. And it's like crazy that you even say that about like, you know, like needing to take breaks about, and you know, self-worth and how it like is affected by social media. Because I read a post on Facebook and somebody was like, oh my god, like, I don't know how people get upset about social media and like feel like worthless or like they're like lacking worth because of other people's posts. And I'm like, that's like real shit. Like, it gives so many people anxiety. And I know so many, I have a couple friends who will like straight up delete social media like for the summer, for example, or something, because they're like, well, like my life isn't fun and I just feel like I'm not on vacation, I'm just working. And I don't think like people realize how much it affects you, you know? Unlike you, I did delete my social media once for, I think it was only like 3 weeks, because like my agent was like, oh, you need to bring it back up, and I was like planning to keep it down a lot longer. But for me, it was like I really had to ask myself, like, without Instagram, how do I feel about myself? Yeah, right. Like,
what proof do I have that I exist and am talented in any way?
And for me, it wasn't so much as like I didn't feel like I don't necessarily like compare myself to other people on social media. But like that validation that people get from likes is real, and so I would obsess over it, and I was constantly on Instagram and I was saving like all these pictures, and I'm just like, oh well, I don't have any like decent content to post right now, so like I guess I kind of suck, you know?
I know, it makes you feel like you're not doing enough compared to everybody else. Like, oh, how are you posting all these pictures all the time? I'm like, are you really hiking to the middle of nowhere every other day to do this? Like, where is it all coming from? I don't know. It made me feel like I had to be productive at a level that I didn't have time to be and didn't necessarily like have the content to be. And if I pressure myself into just making something, it usually comes out poorly, and then I'm disappointed, and then I feel worse than having not made anything.
You get burnt out.
Exactly. And so if I just leave myself alone for a while, like anything I want to make comes from life and comes from experiences that I dream up or that I interpret. And if I don't go live my life, then I have nothing to create about. And so once I've said what I have to say about a certain time period, then I have to leave my work alone and go like live my life, or like go travel somewhere, or like, you know, just focus on work and not focus on things. Don't have to be beautiful and like a double exposed film photo all the time. It's just sometimes you go to work and then you come home and you eat ice cream in bed. Like that's what I do. I think with my Lactaid. Sponsor us.
For me, I remember like there was one point where I would literally like post to Instagram like once a day or maybe like 2 times a day.
That's
like
a lot of times
for weeks at a time. Oh my god, I know. straight up tell you like that's what you need to do for
Mhm.
like you to get anywhere,
I know.
you know, and it just really
But
sucks.
where is that?
I know, and like it's just interesting that you brought up productivity or like lack thereof,
Mhm.
because I find that when I'm not on social media as much, I like work so much better.
Mhm.
Like last week, I think it was like last Friday, I was writing and I just turned off my phone and I felt so much better. Like I got my stuff done, and you know,
Yeah.
and it's real.
I know, it's funny talking about productivity because people really will message me and they'll be like, how do you make so much stuff all the time? How do you constantly produce all this stuff? You're always posting, you're always working on something, which is hilarious to me because I'm like a lazy turd. Like I just said
Yes.
to you,
Oh my
I
God,
just figured
same.
out how to use my sewing machine today. Like I had to it took 10 minutes, not
Right.
even to set
Yeah.
the thing up. And took me 3 days
Yeah.
to discipline myself enough
To,
to
like,
just
actually
watch
do
because
it,
I want
yeah,
everything to be ready made.
Right.
You know, I want it to be ready.
Yeah.
Like I won't just go. I'm not an experimental type of person. I like to plan and go do it and it be right. I'm like do it right the first time.
Mhm.
So it gets really exhausting trying to produce all this stuff and make it right the first time, and then you have a great idea, you experiment, and then it doesn't work, or it's not like good enough to put up,
Yeah.
or it's the wrong season. It's the winter. I can't prance around in like my boob stars all
Right.
winter like I
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah, because you just
Practically.
posted that like fire picture.
Yeah, but that was from a while ago.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
from a while ago.
Yeah, and then like also just to go back to like productivity, and as being like, because you're creative and so am I, and it's just crazy. And we were talking about being lazy
Mhm.
because it's crazy how like people really try to like push this idea that like sleep is like not worth anything, especially like content creators. Like I'm sorry. At one point I felt like, well, maybe I don't want to do what I want to do bad enough because I'm not willing to stay up all night
No.
just to get up the next day and like work like my job,
Mhm.
you know.
Mhm.
So like at one point I was like, well,
Same.
like maybe I'm not like maybe
Maybe
I'm
I'm
not meant to do it because
Maybe
I'm
I'm not
not.
good enough.
Yeah, because I'm like I'm not willing to stay up till 5 o'clock in the morning working just to sleep an hour and then wake up and like do my job that pays for the
Mhm.
stuff that I'm doing right now.
Mhm. Exactly.
Yeah. So a lot has changed since like the first recognizable social media. I believe it was called 6 Degrees and came out in 1997. I know I didn't know if social media had been out for like so long.
6 degrees?
Yeah, it's like I don't know, and then I think blogging like hit the scene in like '99.
Blogging?
Yeah. So how do you?
There were internet cafes.
Yeah. Have you
I
ever
used to
like?
learn about that in Spanish class.
Really?
Because I guess it was like a thing in Spain, but it wasn't in America
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
It was very brief.
Well, like, have you ever like looked at those like long ass sheets and like seen the dates? Cause like some of them will date back to like '96, like just like of like threads.
No.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like sometimes because I have no life, that's what I do.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
like-
amazing. No,
Yeah.
that's actually a really good way to spend your time.
So like, how do you feel about the evolution of social media?
Well, it really was not present. I remember, oh my god, I remember old Instagram filters.
Oh,
I have not purged my
yes.
old Instagram. If you go
Oh,
back
you
far
haven't?
enough, there's still like the vignettes and like the really warm
Uh-huh.
one. But yeah, thank God for everyone learning how to use Photoshop, and
Oh,
thank
for
God for
real.
Tumblr.
Yeah.
That's such like the age group of people like literally our age that would go on it in 8th grade.
I know.
You know, like around a little bit before, a little bit after 8th grade, and all the inspiration that came from that. I don't know, a lot of social media, like, because that's what first got me into photography, and I was connected to all these people.
Right.
Like when Tumblr was brand new,
I
I was
remember,
like,
like,
what is
yeah.
that? And it was just like,
Amazing. I love.
and eventually we all stopped communicating. It was just somewhere like a photo dump,
Yeah.
but like somewhere you go when like you need to see new stuff, because there's just you. I remember my Tumblr account's following like thousands of people
Really.
that I don't have time for that on Instagram.
Yeah,
like,
right.
At all. Because that's like, if I don't want to see your life, if I don't care about your day to day, I'm not gonna see it. But like, it's crazy how social media transforms suddenly. You know, once you move your computer out of the family room in high school and get a laptop, and you can
Oh
go
my
on all
God.
this stuff by yourself because no one's looking over your shoulder. You know, it's
Yeah.
not just AIM anymore. It's
Yeah. I remember dial-up and like AIM. I think my
like,
like.
and Omegle.
Yeah. My like
So
So
username.
many penises.
Oh.
Omegle was your jam.
Not because of the penis.
Oh,
Who else, as a young man, who would you contact
Yeah.
on Omegle?
Now, me and my cousin, we used to go on there, and like specifically, like you could put in tags on there, and like go to specific groups with the same tags and
Oh.
everything. So it'll be like singing, black, and like young or whatever.
That
If we
sounds
go-
like Pornhub.
Yeah.
I was
Singing
never
black young
on
girls.
Omegle. I don't know. I don't even know what that is. But I remember like my first social media was definitely AIM, and I remember like the dial-up, just trying to get on the computer, and I think my name was like D-Drama XOXO
Oh my
for
God.
AVR, and I used to talk to like robots and like curse at them, like a little fucker.
My aim was Curly Q 102.
Oh wow!
What
It's
was
crazy how you
yours?
remember your AIM. What was yours? Did you have
It's
AIM?
like
I had a MySpace. So
Oh, same.
whatever.
Yeah.
My cousin, the only MySpace ever on my computer, my cousin one time he was like, "Can I check my MySpace on your computer?"
You
I was
didn't have
like,
MySpace?
No, it was a baby.
Yeah, I guess I
Yeah,
probably
well,
should
my
have been on
parents are pretty
MySpace either.
strict.
Yeah, no, because I remember like back then it was like if you go on MySpace, you're gonna get abducted, and like people
Yeah.
are like perverts, and like they're gonna send you like penis pictures.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause
But
they,
we
like,
would
really
seek them out on
Yeah.
Omegle. They had no idea.
Because they really tried to drive that, and so I had like a secret MySpace, and
Ah.
I was like obsessed. And so it went from like AIM to like MySpace, and then I got a Facebook, and then like after Facebook, I think it was Twitter, and like Instagram kind of around the same time. But just to like go back to Instagram, I remember like my first Instagram post, and I remember when it first came out, I had to be like a freshman in high school, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like I thought it was just a place to put filters on your pictures,
Mm-hmm.
and like that was it. So when people started following me, I was like, what is this? And I had an iPod Touch at the time, because like you can only have it on like Apple products, like because I had
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Oh my god, when I had an Android and
Yeah,
an
I had an
Instagram.
Android too. Yeah, because I think like for Android it dropped in like 2010 maybe,
Uh-huh.
like months later, and I remember everybody was just so hype.
But their camera quality hasn't dropped until. Just kidding. Their
Yeah.
camera's great.
Yeah. I mean, but I hear it is good, but I
It is
just like
just not like it doesn't work through apps.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
the thing. Like people are like, look at this amazing, gorgeous high def photo I took, but I'm like, where's your Snapchat though?
Right. Yeah.
Why do you look like a sim?
Right. So
Anyway, we
so
don't need to talk
right.
about quality.
Yeah. So Snapchat. Do you use Snapchat?
Yeah.
still?
I don't ever story though,
Yeah.
because I don't get enough attention. The only people I have on Snapchat are like 30 people that are from my hometown
Okay.
that don't really need to like. It's just corny. I don't want to post the same thing on two different things
Yeah.
that with overlapping viewers.
Mm.
It's scary that I think about these things so much.
But
Where
it's
does
like the
what would I
one-
think about if I didn't think about this?
I know, right?
Maybe my future.
Maybe, I guess, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I like Snapchat was definitely my thing. And then I was like, when Instagram dropped Instagram stories, I was like, oh my god, that's so corny, like they're dick eating, like I'm never gonna use it.
But then it was better. It was
It's
consolidation.
so much better.
Consolidation is key.
Yeah.
But they better never mess with Twitter. That's the only thing I'll say. I
Right.
follow like the most specific group of people on
Mhm.
Twitter, and it's perfect because they all like, you know, not to say that any opinion is correct, but they all like have the same opinion as me, kind of. They
Yeah,
all
right.
have like, you know,
Yeah, same.
a nice inclusive
Mhm.
opinion.
Right,
You
right.
know.
That's funny because we were just talking about like being around people who think like you
Mhm.
and if it's good or bad.
Yeah, because when the election happened, I was in Boston, and everyone was so shocked because we're in Boston, which is like the most liberal city ever. And I'm like, and we're like, well, why are we shocked? Because this Boston is not the entire country. Most of the country is like the exact opposite
Yeah.
of the people that we're around every day.
Right.
We're just used to it.
Right.
But
So how do you think social media has changed the world?
well, I think it's connected people a lot, which is good. I love to see the creative side of people. It's given people a platform to share their creative side. A lot of people that I never would have suspected are now like makeup artists and models and photographers and stuff. And it's really cool to see that. But also, yeah, it makes you compare yourself to everybody.
Yeah,
It makes you feel like it's very easy to share only the good parts of your life and hide the bad parts of your life, or overshare the bad parts and, you know, try and like
yeah, it's like a
manipulate
fine line.
people and like
Yeah.
scare everybody, you know, like.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I definitely see it as like a good and bad thing, you know, for the same reasons that you do, but also because I feel like connectedness is good, but I feel like we have such a hard time like talking to each
Mhm.
other like face to face
In
in
real
person.
life.
And I've talked to people about like dating and stuff on social
Yeah,
media
like
sites.
e-boys.
Oh, is that like a thing? You're like teaching me so much.
E-boys! Let me pull up my socks. Well, yeah, because it's like that whole like meme that's like, oh, I was too nervous to talk to you at the concert, but you looked cute. Like,
Yeah, and like they'll text you or message you.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, so like has that ever happened to you?
Oh, definitely. I totally was catfished on Tumblr in like 8th grade too. Like even I got started early
Okay.
with the e-boys.
Okay.
Villainous.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but like I don't know, it gives you the illusion of being way closer to people than you are, because if you're talking to someone every day that lives on the other side of the country, they can feel closer to you than people
like,
that you actually see every day that like you
yeah.
have no connection with.
They talked about that on American Meme. I don't know if I think that's what it's called. The Netflix documentary, and it was about like Paris Hilton and like all these other. It's really really good. It's about like that same thing about how like a lot of the times these social media stars feel more connected to like strangers than they do like the people in their lives, and I just think it's so interesting. Like Paris Hilton said, like she'll give strangers her phone number and like let them like stay with her, and I'm like, you're OP, but I guess.
That's a little scary.
Yeah, it's very scary. Okay, so do you find it difficult to find your place in social media? Or in a world where social media is like the thing?
No, because like you get really caught up in it, but at the same time I remind myself not to really care. Because you know, when Instagram was down for like an hour the other day and everyone's like, oh my god, I was really like, wow, I would feel a loss if Instagram were gone forever, but I have a portfolio and a body of work, and I have something to show for myself. Like I could like put my work in galleries if Instagram went down, you know.
Right.
And then I'm like, but why aren't I doing that anyway?
Yeah.
You know, I feel
so
like
it made you think.
yeah, you kind of have to act like Instagram is down all the time. You know, it's somewhere you
That's
should
a good way to
dip
think about it.
into for inspiration and to share, but then step away.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like for
You
me.
can't live in that world.
Yeah. Because for me, right, and you get like obsessed if you try to, but I have like Instagram and Twitter off my phone right now. I have it on my iPad for like business purposes, but I don't have it on my phone. Because I think like that day where it was like shut down, it was more so like, I'm like so petty, so I wanted to post something on my story to like get under somebody's skin. We couldn't exit that part out. But I wanted to get under somebody's like skin so bad. And so I was like, when the fuck is this gonna come back up? But like other than that, I guess I didn't really care. So it's just interesting to like see how people feel about it, because some people are like, oh my god, like I feel like my like life has ended because Instagram was down. And
That's
then
too much.
yeah, and then other people were like, oh, it's like whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't have Instagram and Twitter on your phone, then what do you look at?
I play Wordscapes.
Oh, but see, it's kind of the same because you're still on your phone, just different.
Yeah,
But
so
I
I
guess
still
it's
like spend time on my phone. I just think like for me, looking too much at social media makes me feel like, at least when I like play my word games or something, I feel like I'm doing like brain games.
It's a distraction, but it's like a healthy distraction.
Yeah, so like with social media and stuff, like I'll like just end up like down this rabbit hole.
Yeah,
And
that's
I just,
true.
Like I'm really good for a while, and then like out of nowhere I'm not necessarily good anymore, and so I get in these like moments where, and this like last week I just didn't want to be social period, so I like wasn't answering my phone or anything. But even like with like my Wordscapes game, like I won't play it like all the time, so a lot of the time like instead I'll read, or I'll like I write.
Reading.
Yeah, so and I write for a newspaper too, so I'll do that. Like I do other things that are like productive with my time. And like I might go like on my iPad and like check like once a day or at night or something, just to see if like I have like a message, because a lot of people will contact me to like shoot with me through that, or I have this the Weekly Reads Instagram page that I check too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like what I do.
Yeah, that's good. Honestly, like I feel like since I don't obsess over social media as much anymore, I mostly use it to decompress at the end of my day. Or I'll get home from being out and I'll like sit down on my rug next to my space heater and be like, oh, I just want to catch up on Twitter and in the morning and before bed. But like my goal is I don't want that to be my decompressing activity, is to go on social media. I want it to be something better than that, like reading.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I just finally started reading for pleasure again, and it's so nice.
It is,
and it puts you right to sleep.
Yeah.
And my phone, like, once it gets to be 1 a.m. and I'm still looking at my phone in a dark room, like, that's it for me. Like, I'm gonna
That's a good cutoff.
I'm not gonna sleep. Yeah, but I surpass it.
Oh.
I'm not gonna sleep, I'm gonna wake up feeling groggy in the
Mhm.
morning, and it's so much nicer to just read a book instead of reading people's dumbass captions.
Yeah, yeah. And so, like, do you read, like, gossip blogs or anything like that?
No,
Like the gossip
I don't
sites?
follow any, like, human being that body tunes or face tunes themselves,
Mhm.
because I cannot handle that.
Yeah.
I really can't. I
Yeah.
really
And
can't
I
with
think
that.
it's
I love
important
to
to know
look.
that about
I
yourself.
like to look at the before and afters, like the fake ones, because I'm like, but how do you get away with that?
Right.
I think if I ever even like did Facetune for fun, I would never like myself ever again.
Mhm.
I would never, because once I saw my perfect face, I would never be happy with my face again.
Yeah.
I just know that's how I am. Like, I don't want anything. I don't even want to think about, like an eyebrow lift or
Mm,
whatever I would have
right.
done. I can't even think about it because I'll never be happy again.
Very cute.
It's just, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm like a beautiful egg. That's how I think of myself.
That's so funny you say that because my guest last week described himself as an egg too, and so I'm like interested. What's with the whole egg concept?
Okay, well, I'll tell you where it comes from for me. My best friend and I were really stoned, and she was like putting a scarf around her head over and over again, and she has this beautiful, like, perfect egg-shaped face, and she's really pale. I was like, Abigail, you look like an Easter egg in a basket. She looks like a little egg in a basket. She was like, an egg? I'm like, yeah, an egg. I was like, you're my little egg. And she just, at first thought it was extremely degrading, but then the next day she's like, I've been thinking about that. And I think I am actually an egg. I think you're also an egg. And it's just like a type of person, I guess. It's
Oh.
like, you want to, like, hold their head like
that. Okay, that's
They're like a
interesting.
sweetie.
That's interesting. But like for me, I guess I used to like be heavy on gossip blogs. There's this one called The Shade Room. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Yeah.
But it's like so negative.
Oh, no.
Oh my god, it's so negative. And at first it was funny and I thought it was cute, like to like be hip, I think. To like know the tea.
Mm-hmm.
But like now it just seems like a cancer to like especially the black community because I'm
Mhm.
like there's just so much negativity and I just don't want that.
Yeah, with
And-
Jordan Woods.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
yeah. But like the thing is I followed that situation so heavily and I was mad at myself for doing so
Mhm.
because even like earlier today I looked up like what's going on with Jordan Woods because it's like it was all crazy and then like nothing.
Exactly, that's how it always is.
Yeah.
And it's not even our lives though. It has nothing to
to
do with us.
I know.
They don't know who we are. They
They
don't
don't care
care
to.
about us. People make fun of celebrities like Taylor Swift and all these people, and like, I follow the trend, you love her, you hate her, whatever. But she is rich,
Yeah.
and she does not care about you.
Right.
That's what's so funny.
I know.
Social
yeah.
media makes you feel like you know these people,
Mhm.
and you don't, and they don't care about you.
Yeah.
And people that have to go online and like post hate don't have their own friends to like talk shit to, so they
Right.
have to just say it out in the
Out loud,
comments.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, get a freaking life. Like, get off your computer.
Right. Well, so did you follow any of the Jordan Woods scandal situation?
Yeah,
Okay.
I watched some of her interview.
Okay. And so how do you feel about the way social media blows situations like that up?
Oh well, of course, like you're gonna attack the girl.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, like the high-profile best friend of a very high-profile family.
Yeah.
And of course, what is it? I really don't pay that much attention to court. Chloe
Yeah.
has like a terrible reputation and history with men, and like look how
Yeah.
she even started to date Tristan in the first place.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna go, everyone's calling her a bird. I'm like, yeah, you are.
A bird. That's funny. I think it's hilarious when people call women birds. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So I think we kind of like touched on it, but just remind me, what's your social media of choice?
Instagram probably.
Okay, and why is that?
Vanity
Okay.
probably. I don't know. I just love to post pictures. I like to take pictures because like I don't know. I'm very scared that when I die, there's gonna be nothing left of me ever. I know it's
That's,
really
like, very
it's like
morbid.
really morbid, but I'm really scared that there's gonna be because I've had people die in my life recently, and I'm like, okay, so
Sorry.
2 months later, what's actually left of you though? Like it's just some
I guess
stuff.
memories,
It's just some stuff and some memories, and what's gonna be there in a few generations.
right.
You know, with me, I'm like, I want to create art and I want to be in it. Like
Right.
I need to physically be in it, and then I feel like I'm alive. Like I feel like okay, I'm like holding on to existence somehow. But it's also like I want to create art that makes me feel beautiful because that's how I want to be remembered
Right.
as like my best self.
I get that.
So like social media kind of helps me, you know, put it there. I guess, you know, it's still valuable if it was just sitting in albums, but I'm also like, I have a vision too.
Yeah.
Like I have a voice too.
So could you imagine a world without social media?
Yeah.
What
I
do you
mean,
think
there
would be
was a
like-
world without
yeah,
social
right.
media.
So what do you think, like, say like in 10 years, all social media is just gone and we're not doing that anymore. What do you think the world would look like?
I don't know. I feel like we'd have a lot more physical art and galleries, and like, you know, people are so gung ho about all their social media that craving for attention and validation, but also the desire to share your work isn't gonna go away. It's just gonna have to take a new form. You know, like social
So you
media.
think we would adapt?
Yeah, we would adapt, of course.
Do you think people would have a hard time adapting now that so many people are addicted to their phones?
Well, yeah, because you'd have to express yourself in a different way. It wouldn't be so easy, you know, you couldn't just lay in your bed and post something. You'd have to like find a venue or find the funds or find someone who wants you. You'd have to like work harder, basically. You'd have to work harder to be seen, and a lot of people would get cut because their work wouldn't be good enough anymore.
Yeah. I think Instagram has definitely made it easier, obviously for like showcasing your work, but like so many social media stars are like just, I feel like out of nowhere, like people are like getting like legitimate jobs from social media.
From
But-
being funny for
Yeah,
30 seconds.
yeah. But like on the flip side, I have to ask, how do you feel about how social media affects people maybe like not getting a job? So for example, like I remember like when it was kind of like, I guess more in the beginning, people were like, oh, if you post a picture like this, like you're not going to get a job. Do you think that's still the case? And if so, how does that make you feel?
Well, it depends on what field you're in, I guess. Like, I'm more in, like, I do, like, wardrobe and stuff and, like, TV stuff. So I'm in a much more liberal type of world. You know, there's a lot of, I'm, like, one of very few women. There's a lot of guys, and they'll be like, oh, yeah, of course we all know about your Instagram, and make a comment like that. And I'm like, what? And they're like, nothing. But they don't push it, you know, because like I definitely cleaned up my website. I took anything with like any kind of even suggested nudity off of that, because I was like, what if I'm an employer? Like, oh yeah, this is very artistic, but also like I don't want to see my employee like that. I don't want to see any of my coworkers like that. So you know, yeah, there's like a space for being artistic, and there's a space for being professional, and you know, you just, you know, free expression or all, you just, it's the facts. You have to like have an appropriate enough profile in case, because it's easy. You just Google somebody, and all their social media can come up. It's not hard.
So do you think women are held to a different standard than men in that regard?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And how do you feel about
Absolutely.
it?
I hate it. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Right.
I mean, just because what, boobs?
or even like torso, like
Yeah,
or
even
suggested,
torso
like you
or
said.
leg,
Yeah.
or like facial expression or makeup or anything. It's
Yeah.
very,
I
it's
just
very draining, and I don't really care. You know,
Yeah.
if I want to make that work, if I have to just keep it to myself, I will. But,
Yeah.
like, I would prefer not.
yeah. So and I only have a couple questions left, and then
Okay.
yeah. So and we talked a little bit about social media detox. Do you think that they're beneficial?
Yeah. A
Okay.
social media detox. Well, I guess you'd have to try. You'd have to try one to see if it's beneficial or not to see, because like I guess it can be really stressful if that's like your comforting thing.
Right.
You know, it doesn't matter what it is. Like it's your comforting thing, and you want to go back to it. So it can be distressful to like try and get away from that. But you know, I feel like our generation is very impatient, and if you just give it the
Instant
week,
gratification.
yeah, if you just give it the week, no one wants to feel uncomfortable for any amount of time. You know, so if you just like sit with yourself and like go through the week and don't give in to your urges to look at social media, you're not gonna care.
Right.
Like I spent a week at my family's farm in West Virginia, and there's no cell service, and the first day I was like,
yeah. Like what am I
but
gonna
by the third day I was like, wow,
It's not
I have
happening.
not heard crickets since the Vietnam War. I've not heard I have not heard anything, and
Yeah.
it's just nice. Yeah, so detox is definitely healthy, I think.
Mhm.
You just have to be patient.
Right, right. And so, since you said Instagram is your favorite social media, how do you feel about this change in algorithm, and do you think they should change it back?
What's the new change?
I mean, it's like not new
Oh, the
anymore,
one-
but the way
yeah.
how they like, it's not like in sequential order anymore. It's just kind of like, I don't know how they decide
Yeah.
what comes up.
I mean, I really was resistant at first, but like, if they were to go back to the old way, I don't know if I would really like it anymore, because there are times of the day people think, oh, when you check your phone in the morning, I want my post to be the first thing you see, or vice versa at night. And I feel like if you're following a ton of people, my work would just get stuck, because after a while, you can only like catch up for so long before you get bored, and you're like, okay,
yeah,
it's Instagram, I don't
Yeah.
need to like see every single thing.
right.
But with the other algorithm, you know, I guess like your work pops up, but then what if it doesn't pop up at all?
Yeah,
You know, for those people.
yeah. So how do you not get like wrapped into likes and
I used to
followers?
though. I
Yeah.
used to get so wrapped into it. Like I would like try and like continuously increase my following, and I would like try. I don't know. I would want
All the
people to-
hashtags.
Yeah.
And, like, ways to
Oh
increase
yeah,
followers.
exactly. I really did care, and I really did get wrapped up in it. But I'm like, if you like my work and want to follow it, fine. If I like your work and want to follow it, fine. I'm not gonna get. At this point, I'm not gonna get famous off Instagram, so I have to be like
Right.
a real physical working artist and put my work out there and sell prints and like show up to things and talk at things and like, you know, interact with other artists on shows and stuff, and just
Right.
be a part of the community, not just be a part of the community from my
From
bedroom.
behind the scenes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, are you not the type of person who's like, oh well, if you don't follow me back, I'm gonna unfollow you?
No, because I would miss so much work that I love. You know,
Right.
I don't really care.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably people that I don't follow back that I should, because their work is great. I just like didn't investigate who followed me that
Right,
day. You know, it's
yeah.
not personal.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And so, in your opinion, what's the best benefit that you've received from social media?
I made a lot of friends. Like, I really will say, honest to God, I made so many
I
friends.
agree.
Like, I mean, how else would I have met you today? Literally, like, I've made so many friends that actually have become closer to me than friends like I met in person, just from getting together and working together. You know, because you kind of feel like you know someone after following them for so long, and you
Yeah.
like their work and you admire it, and you know.
talk every once in a while.
Yeah, you like compliment each other, and then you meet in person, and you're like, wow. It's at first it's like, but then you're like, this friendship could be a real friendship, and you
Right.
create together. That's the best thing.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
friends I've made and have created some amazing work with, like I couldn't ask for anything better.
I would definitely say the same. The people like the photographers, the other models that I've worked
Yeah.
with, and it's really been amazing for me, especially because I come from a town where I don't really care for most of the people I grew up with, honestly. And like in college, it was like I made friends, but I didn't necessarily feel like understood.
Yeah.
And so it's just been a blessing to me to meet people who have at this point have sent my career in a direction that I didn't even know it was gonna go.
I know.
Yeah, it's been
crazy.
absolutely amazing, and a lot of the people I've had on my show I've met through social media, and so I would definitely say that that's the biggest benefit as well.
Yeah.
And so my last question to you, on your form you put when I asked what to talk about on the show, one of the things that you also suggested was grief, and so I kind of wanted to link the two, grief and social media, and ask you, do you think that there's a direct correlation between depression and social media, and why?
Yeah, because it can show you, if you're really not living the life that you want to live, it can show you the life you want to be living, and then really remind you how much you're not living that life.
Yeah.
Or you just get mad about the stupid things people care about, you know, or the stupid things people cry out for attention over, and you're just like, is this serious? It just makes you furious. Yeah, it makes you furious, and it makes you lose faith in people and not want to talk to anybody.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. And another thing that I noticed about social media, and it's been a trend for years now, is being sad is the thing.
I know.
And I guess that really started with Tumblr, when people used to have those videos and you were like,
oh.
yeah. Oh my god, did
It's
you?
been way It was only ever posted on Facebook, I think, and it has been way.
But I wanted to make one too, so that's the crazy thing about it. I wanted to be I am so sad today. I wanted to self-harm.
Yeah.
I drink
It's like,
a
can I
cup
do
of
it?
Yeah, you can.
It's like, I'm really happy all the time, but I'm carrying a heavy heart.
No, because this is
When I
really
was in
fast.
kindergarten, I was bullied because I would run screaming through the hallways like an anime character. But I just really loved anime.
I've never let anybody touch my cards before, so you special. No, I'm just kidding. No. But
No, this is like an Oscars moment. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm very honored. Okay.
because no, it's real and like
I have Mandarin vanilla lotion on my hands, so like it's all good.
they smell good. But no, like I remember those, and I remember like I wanted to make one so bad because I just wanted to be sad so bad.
I know, but why did we?
I don't know, because it's like it's quote unquote
Why?
cool to be
But
sad, like,
why?
but then it's also like really cool now to live your best life.
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
It's like knowing between you're either like
I
supposed to
felt
be
that,
super
though.
happy.
I felt that though. You're
Yeah.
supposed to like come home and be secretly like depressed online.
Yeah.
But now we're like excellence only. Thank God. But I want it to be like that forever because social media can be so good if it's like that. You know, you
Yeah.
like go online and see a pep talk.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know like what article I was reading, but and I can't like remember the percentages, but there's been like a rise in depression and especially like
Mhm.
adolescent girls because of sites like Tumblr. Because I feel like that's where that really came from. It was like
Yeah.
let's be like sad today, and everybody's gonna call themselves
but
like
there
a
were
sad
like
boy or a sad
self-harming
girl.
accounts and stuff that would post
Yeah.
graphic images and graphic like verbal content. It was like
Well, have you seen that like
support
Momo
groups for
thing?
that. Yeah, that's just.
I'm just like so like now we're gonna like reinforce that sad idea and like that it's cool to like self harm,
yeah.
but like to little kids.
I know. Kids don't know that like if they kill their sibling and they're actually gonna be dead
Yeah.
because
no,
someone
seriously.
online.
Told
They
them.
don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was the last question I had.
Well, we ended on a great note.
I know. Yeah, that's like really depressing. I don't know why I put that at the end.
Just like flash Momo.
Yeah. Watch out for Momo because that's like a legit thing right now. I like texted
We
my
shouldn't
family.
even joke about this.
No,
We're gonna get
seriously.
canceled.
It's really
Never
not a
mind.
joke.
It's not a joke.
But it's really not a joke. It's really like really unfortunate. I text my family like, yeah, so you might want to like check out YouTube for kids.
Yeah.
'Cause- But did you have any advice you wanted to give or anything you wanted to talk about that I didn't say?
Advice. Well, as for advice, I guess you really just have to worry about your own self and have the patience to like learn more about yourself instead of learning about your reflection in other people and how they view you and what they have to say, because if you're good, other people are going to see that you're good and they're going to have respect for you instead of being like a social climber.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
facts.
Exactly. That's especially in the photography community, the worst thing is a social climber. And I definitely, when I first started out, I definitely felt that. I was like, oh, I want to work with these names because they have all these followers. And then I met them and most of them were assholes.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many like.
I was like, I can do this.
Yeah.
And so I did.
I can't tell you how many photographers with like not as many followers have like told me like, I'm so surprised you wanted to work with me because I like don't have like thousands and thousands of followers, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
And another thing I think with social media, people forget that you still have to be nice to people.
I know.
Like, so many. I've worked with so many photographers who like I'm like pleasantly surprised at how nice you were because a lot of like people who model and stuff like that like are just kind of assholes or photographers
Somehow
too.
don't have social skills. I'm like, how can you create art that makes people feel if there's no emotion that goes into creating it?
I know. Well,
Here's to making good art
Yeah,
and good
for real.
content.
that was
Right.
like a miss. I heard like if you like stare at
If you look
somebody's
at that
elbow, kind of.
It's true.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being on my show.
Yay, you
It
should
was
throw
a
your
great
cards.
conversation. You want me to throw my cards?
Remember
That's
when
a
you
wrap. Oh yeah, my thing. It like this is
I
like
know, I was
not a part of
like,
the
we need
show.
more cards.
Yeah, no, but like me and Colby
Don't get my
tried it
socks in.
probably like 5 times and it just did not work.
Because they're heavy.
Yeah, they are very heavy.
And they suction together.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I
they-
didn't mean to make you throw them.
No, it's okay. It was fun.
That was so fun!
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
my
thank you
God.
again so much, and thank you guys for watching another episode of the Weekly Weave. We will be back next week. I like fucked up the intro and the outro. Peace out, y'all.